how you don't get it? Information qualified, speaking what I witness. Public information, if it's spreading, we look in it. Your neighborhood anchor reporting live from the... What's up, everybody? This is Jake Dallas with Information Qualified, you dig? And first and foremost, we want to give all glory to God, because we know without him, we won't be in this moment, hour, or second. We know who's the creation of all breath, and I give glory to him all times. It's not up for debate with me on that sense. But on today's episode of Information Qualified, man, we had some breaking news happen yesterday in the Dallas, Texas area. May 28th was a Thursday. About 1:15 p.m. Afternoon, we had an apartment complex catch fire on the East 9th Street block near Patton Avenue, the Clyde Apartments on the 400 of East 9th Street block. They caught a fire that had a gas leak, and this gas leak, I I guess, caught everybody off guard. I guess the worker was out there trying to fix it. I don't truly know too much information on that. I will get my facts correct on a further update. But I just know that from the interviews that I seen of people who lived there, said they sounded like it was a big boom, like something hit their house, and they paid it mind, but they didn't pay much mind, right? They just went out, looked, and then they noticed the smoke and understood it was time to get out of there. That was for most of the residents that lived there that heard the explosion. But me mentioning this explosion, it just shows us how life catches us off guard, right? How we can take a hit without expecting to take a hit. It was 3 people that lost their lives. It was 2 women and a child, and may God rest their souls. I know we don't like death, but death does happen. So, I won't blame God about what happened, because, things happen unexpectedly, right? So I don't want, shout out to their families, and my condolences go to their families. And I just hope that they let God comfort them through this situation, because it is a tough situation. Again, like I said, death is a tough situation. It's just how we handle it, right? And at times it's truly tough to handle death, but we got to let God comfort us through it, right? We have to know that he understands what we go through, right? In that sense, and for those lives that was took in this house fire, right? And also with this fire going on, imagine all the people that lost the things that, again, they went to work, just living a normal life, and it just came, and it happened while they was at work. They came home and nothing was there. Everything that they felt they worked hard for, even though I'm pretty sure most of those in those apartments had apartment insurance, but it's just, they came home to nothing, right? And that was a very sad situation to see. I kept up with the whole situation as they was continue to release information about it, because they were still looking for people, making sure it wasn't no more deceased. 4 people did go to the hospital. From my understanding, 2 people drove themselves to the hospital, which is pretty good. That I pray to God that they recover from their injuries or whatever happened to them, that it's not too severe. Again, I pray to God for those families, not just to replace the things that we know are replaceable in life, but to what am I looking for? I'm looking for that word, to be appreciative of life, to be grateful for life, right? In that sense, because when we have near-death experience, we always think, man, that could have been us, right? Because we don't know what death is like. Nobody came back and truly told us but Christ, right? And a lot of us in this time of day feel like we wasn't in his day, so we don't know, right? And respectfully, I can't, I don't respect it, but I gotta respect it in a sense, respectfully. And that's on another subject, another day. But in that sense, so we don't know what it's like, but we find ourselves trying to prepare for something that's off guard, and again, like I said, that happened at 1:15 p.m. yesterday, and it was off guard. Nobody expected it. And I don't know, again, I know I heard through the news that it was a worker working on it, but again, he didn't expect that neither, if it was somebody working on it. Because I really want to know the full details of if it just was by itself, like if the gas was leaking, nobody understood or knew,
or was somebody working on it? And the person that was working on it, how did it happen? How did it get to that point, right? In that sense. But also, shout out to those people who was trying to work on it. Shout out to the firefighters that came out there. First and foremost, I apologize because I want to shout out to them. It took 40 units. So it was 40 trucks on the block of East Ninth Street. It was 40 trucks and it was over 100 firefighters. So you know that was a serious, serious fire. It took them a while to get that fire to calm down. So that was a serious, serious fire that we was dealing with. And when I say we, I say Dallas in the whole as a city, right? Because we the people, we all felt that. We was watching that, right? We mourned for those who was losing in the moment that we was watching, right? When it was live in effect. Some people was there live and some people watched on TV as or watched on the internet. I watched with Smash the Topic again. Shout out to Smash the Topic. I always feel like that's a legit platform for update and breaking news. And when I say that, it's because it gives everybody else around a chance to, get their insight on it. So respect to Smash the Topic and everybody else that blog to give out news, not just negative news though. Always, give the good news out. We're not here to down people. We're here to uplift people respectfully, but we got to give the real truth of the news. But we still here to uplift people on that sense. But that's another story for another day. But shout out to the fire rescue team. They came out, and they got it down. And you know what? That's what we pay our tax dollars for. That's what the 9 to 5 workers go to work for. And when they take them taxes out they check, that's what they pay for. They pay for those firefighters. Shout out to the volunteer firefighters that wanna save people, that wanna, get people out of burning buildings. That was serious. A lot of people don't have common sense to know when something's so serious and how to move. That's the truth. So we need people like the firefighters. We need our justice system. We need those things. That's why we pay our tax dollars. That's why we have entertainment, all those type of things. So I won't ever down a 9 to 5 worker. I'm a 9 to 5 worker. And when we say 9 to 5 worker, you can work the third shift, fourth shift, but you're still in that same hour range, respectfully on that sense. So I won't ever down those people because we are the people that make the world go around. If we don't have those fast food workers, I can't get my McDonald's quick. If I don't have nobody in that five-star restaurant, I can't get that steak that I want. So shout out to them that put in that work. But at the same time, again, it just shows we have to be aware. And I'm not saying just aware like watch your surroundings, look around. No, be aware. Be aware that this is life. Right? And that's why I believe everybody's trying to figure out where they're going in life because look at what's happening. Off guard situations, respectfully. And also, we took another hit in Dallas, in West Dallas, over the Memorial Day weekend. If I ain't mistaken, yeah, the Memorial Day weekend. I'm sorry. We took a little hit in West Dallas. Some young teenagers was killed at an Airbnb. It was 3 teenagers unalived at an Airbnb. One of them was shot and they went to the hospital. It was a sad, tragic situation. Um, I don't know any of them personally. I don't know the full story behind what happened personally. It's just sad and tragic because these are our young people, and I know when I was growing up, I was told that the kids are the future. And, I held on to that. Now I wasn't the best teenager, truly wasn't. Um, and not even in my early 20s, I wasn't the best person, you know. But that's why I believe in God because the transformation he can make in the mind, right? And we gotta pass these things down. The things that we learn that's true and that truly help us and we got a source to, man, we gotta pass those things down. And I'm not just talking about the divisive things, because the divisive things can't save our children, because I'm pretty sure, I don't, like I said, I don't know nobody person, but I'm pretty sure they had the divisive things at home. So, it things happen. I'm not saying they did something wrong, or I don't know what, like I said, I don't know what transpired, but it's just the situation that took hand. We lost children, and on the other side, we might lose other children to the justice system. Because now think about this. And again, that goes back to working, because look at the families that lost, they want the justice system to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a two-way street. And, like I said, my condolences to those families. And man, Dallas, we got to do a little bit better. I'm not saying with the fire, it was nothing they can do with that, but for our children, we do got to do better. I know people try to use and play on people top. I'm just gonna say it straight up. People try to play on people top. You know what I'm saying? They try to confuse and all that. But just as a man that try his best every day, I don't get it right every day, but I just try my best every day. Man, God is good, and God is real, and transformation is real. So man, we have to do better. And I speak that on all of us, me, everybody. When I go places, when I talk to people, I got to do better. I got to do better with face expressions and things like that. Hey, look, I'm just human, just like everybody else, respectfully on that sense. But also, man, I want to throw y'all a little sports while I'm sitting here doing this update. Last night, we did have, also we had the Western Conference Finals Game 6. Wembanyama showed up. He showed up. He gonna take the 7. The whole time during that Game 6, I was sitting there and I was like, well, I think if San Antonio takes 6, they can take 7. I believe that. Now, I can be wrong, but I think if San Antonio took 6, they can take 7. That's why I just kept thinking that last night. And I actually believe San Antonio going to take 7. Now, I always say, a champion is a champion. The champions are the champions until they are dethroned. So, I can't take away a champion. Whoa. I can't take away a champion. You know what I'm saying? So, a champion is a champion all the time, respectfully, on that sense. So, we got Game 7, Saturday, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock in my time, 8 o'clock Eastern time, respectfully. Shea didn't have a real good game. He didn't shoot a lot of free throws, so he didn't have a good game. And I'm not shitting on Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, because he's the MVP for a reason. I just think, because free throws are a part of the game, I just think if he shot less free throws, he wouldn't be as more effective, like the point wise. That's just my opinion. And sometimes he'll come out there and light you up, but that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some people out there, they don't need those free throws. It's just like how we be down in Bam 83, because he took 43 free throws. And Kobe took, 20? 81, in that sense, respectfully. And also, we got the New York Knicks waiting to play whoever wins. So, and, shout out to the Knicks for winning. Shout out to Jalen Brunson for going to the championship, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, man. Dallas, shout out to you. You did. Respectfully, man. We respect your grind, homie. That's how you do it. That's how you got to get it done. Dallas, we next. Dallas, we next. But yeah, man, that's that with basketball. Hope I wasn't too dry with y'all, man. I'm just, living life respectfully, man. But this is information qualified, you dig, man. Y'all stay up. Y'all have a great weekend. We in here. We gonna be here. We ain't going nowhere. Shout out to y'all. Y'all work hard. Keep grinding. Keep grinding. Keep grinding. Civilian out now. Check it out. You dig?
Watch the way we move it and we prove it. Put it in your face. Show y'all real G's do it. Dallas where I start. The city of finesse.